And we're going to start the hearing, and this program is being recorded and played live on national TV. Okay, the first thing, 7 o'clock, is A&Rs. Are there any A&Rs?
There are not.
Okay. The second hearing is applicant Masad Family LLC requesting a modification of the approved site plans as allowed under section 3.2.6.3 of the Auburn zoning bylaws for property located at 50 Faith Ave, Auburn, Mass, map 55, parcels 1, 2, 3, 181 and 182, map 60, parcels 12, 15, and 16, and map 61, parcel 16. And under the same hearing, or a separate hearing, we have Masad Family LLC Diamond Service Facility requesting an approval of a definitive subdivision plan for properties located at 50 and 51 Faith Ave and 768 Washington Street, map 55, parcel 1, 2, 3, 181 and 182. Map 61, parcels 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, and 17, and 68. The parties for this hearing are evidently, they're not here. So I would
cancel?
They did not.
So I would probably recommend that we go on to the next hearing in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, we can probably do approve the minutes for the last meeting. And if they do come in at a later time, I think they should be heard.
Through the chair, I don't believe that they'll be here this evening. And I say that because they came to Conservation at Conservation's last hearing 2 weeks ago. And they told the Commission that they were intending to move the road per the Commission's request, I think in the range of 30 to 35 feet to the east, closer to the building.
Mm-hmm.
I believe through a conversation I had with Mr. Massad that they are under the 5,000 square foot threshold where they're proposing to locate the road, and they had a significant amount of engineering to have redone based on the alteration. It changes some of the curves, changes how they're building it, so they have some engineering to redo. I don't believe that they'll be coming back to this board until they've done that engineering. So
Can we give them a continuance?
you can. I was going to say my recommendation would be to continue them for 2 weeks, just so that we can try and contact them. I would have contacted them earlier, but I was out last week, so it was sort of a catch up at the end of the vacations.
Should they contact you when they're going to postpone? They got to schedule.
They should.
Here?
They should.
This has gone back and forth so much.
Correct.
I mean, really, it would come to there would be not much other reason to come other than that.
I agree, but I would recommend that the board do it for 2 weeks to find out what their time frame is for resubmitting new plans to the board. They're going to have additional peer review done to check the new engineering, check the new drainage calcs, all of that stuff, which will be in conjunction with what they present to the Conservation Commission. So
I think also it would be a good idea, Adam, if you, of course, through the other board members, if you sent the engineer for Massad a short letter or a note and ask them to please respond if there's going to be a new hearing, or let us know what's going on.
Sure. Well, by continuing it would be the same hearing,
Yeah.
and it would just be a matter of us getting written intent for what they plan to do. I agree with you that it's something that should be in writing.
That'd be the 10th of September.
Correct.
So
I'll probably still be celebrating.
can
my
you,
birthday.
Jonathan, anybody want to make a motion to continue this?
I'll make a motion, but I won't be able to be here for that meeting. So I don't know if that.
I won't be here the
Matters.
10th either.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be in Florida, so I won't be here. But But, Wendy,
You have 3 members.
3 members here. Why don't you present that to them that?
Well, and I will present that to other applicants as well, because that will have an impact on whether or not people wish to go forward.
With 3 members.
Correct,
Yeah.
but what would happen is if we continue them to the 10th,
Yeah.
and we cancel the meeting based on lack of agenda items, all the agenda items would continue to the following hearing.
Which I will be there
And
the
that
next
would-
hearing. Jonathan, will you be
Yep.
the hearing after that?
Yep.
Okay, Brooksy, will you, and you don't know. And Paul, you think you'll be there meeting after? Okay, so,
I
will you
I'll
continue to make
contact
that?
them and
Okay, good.
Sure, so then I'll make the motion for the continuance to the
Second.
September 10th.
7 p.m.
Second.
And Mr. Brooks is seconding the motion, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote, 4-0. Okay, now we're at the 7:05. We're okay there.
I'm gonna say the remainder of the agenda is discussion, so you don't have to actually wait for the time period.
All right. We have a discussion for 317 Southbridge Street, site plan waiver. And 317 Southbridge Street, are there anybody here?
Join us.
Okay, why don't you step up and tell us your names and what you would like to do and how you're gonna do it, and see what we can do for you.
Okay, so my name is Melissa Colon. This is my husband, Heriberto Colon. And we moved in mid-July to 317 Southbridge. So where we located our store, which is Harry's Speed Shop. And we located there because it also has a garage where my husband can do his installations. We went to the board, we went to the zoning board, we got approval. We got approval for the mechanic license. So we're here for the planning site.
Site plan approval?
Site plan approval, yes.
Okay. Now, is this, Adam, to you?
This is the location on the screen. It's the old House of Wheels. There's a bay around the back of the building.
Where they used to do tire changes.
Correct.
Lots of wheels.
Correct. So this lower level is the area that they're currently occupying. They're not changing the site. They did receive their auto repair license from the Board of Selectmen. You have a copy of their special permit from the zoning board for aquifer protection, so that they're allowed to do minor engine work, oil changes, that kind of stuff inside the garage.
Is there any provisions for water and oil separation?
There's no floor drain inside the building.
Okay.
So they have a spill protection plan, if I'm not mistaken, that if something spills in the building, they're able to contain it and clean it up. And the parking area is existing, and I believe has some drainage structures, which most likely have hoods.
And this right here is the parking layout where we rent to Fred Belandra. He just told me to bring this in. Just gives you an idea on the parking space.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Sure. Let me just. And then he also gave me this picture as well. That's just.
Which is,
side.
Which is
yeah,
that one right
basically
there.
that. Yeah.
How many parking spaces is there?
I'm looking now.
There is 26 parking spaces, but that also for the upstairs.
Yeah, the whole building.
Yeah.
and the Colognes have worked with the building inspector, and he has looked at the parking plan and has said that he feels that it's adequate for what's on site and what was there previously.
So in other words, the upstairs would be using spots 1 through 13, basically, and probably 14 and 15 or 16, so leave them with, it looks like pretty adequate, according to their square footage. What was the square footage of the,
I don't recall off the top of my head. It's a relatively small shop down below, is it not?
Yeah, we
mean,
have.
do you know the
store,
length
we
and
have
width
the-
of it?
Yeah,
No, I
it's
didn't
on the
bring that
page.
with me, no.
It was 24 by 32, did I see?
Yeah, I believe it's several hundred square feet.
Yeah.
It's probably in the zoning decision.
And the zoning board already gave them a...
They did,
A variance?
yes.
Okay.
It's not a variance, it's a special permit under the aquifer.
Okay. And what did Mr. Coyle have to say about Mr. Anavica,
About,
about the operation, the way they had it set up?
he's been through it with the fire department, they're okay with the way the building is. He feels that the parking is adequate, and he felt that the use fit zoning.
And the fire department also is
Correct.
signed off
They
on
have.
it, or? Okay.
I believe that they have an occupancy permit for the building.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a little different story. Jonathan,
Yes, sir. I have no problem with it, so.
Mr. Brooks,
I don't have any problem with it at all.
No, I don't have any, how many cars will you be working on at a time in there?
Well, we had the store, so people are gonna come in and out constantly,
Okay.
but we can fit 4 cars inside the
Okay.
garage. So, he's only one person, so I don't think he's gonna be
He's
able to do.
ambidextrous. It's fast.
all right, so you don't have any problems either?
No, no.
Okay, at this point in time, after answering all those questions that you did, I feel comfortable with it also. Now, again, is this a discussion, or is this?
Well, you are voting. It's
First
not
of
a
all-
hearing because they're asking for the waiver from the public hearing, so there was no advertising.
All right, so if we first of all, the waivers that they're asking for,
Mm-hmm.
and then close the meeting and vote on that.
You don't even have to close it because you never had to open a public hearing.
all right.
So what you would do is you would decide if the board wishes to waive the public hearing.
Yep.
You'd wait for, one of the members would make a motion on waiving the public hearing.
Right.
There'd be a vote on that. Then it would be a vote on the additional waivers of the plan requirements. And then it would be a vote on the site plan.
Okay.
I'll
Who would
make a
like to start
motion that we
this?
close the vote on the waiver.
That you waive the public hearing.
Waive the public hearing.
I'd second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's a vote. Okay, the next,
Now, there were no residents next to that,
No.
putting that,
There's across the tracks, and
down in the hole.
there's the other office.
Harrison
buildings and
Ave.
Stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Harrison, yeah.
Across the street,
And there was a town well over there someplace.
down at the end of the ball.
At the end of
It's
the-
down way
I was
back.
gonna say, here's the ball field at Southbridge Street
Yeah.
Court.
That's quite a
And then
distance.
Harrison is through the
You
woods
can see
Yeah.
and up over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next
So-
motion.
Oh, you wanna
Make
combine
a-
the things?
You can do
Motion
them
to
individually or combine them.
Combine.
We'll combine them
Make a
together.
motion to
Combine them.
waive the waivers. How do you say that?
To approve the waivers
To
as
approve.
submitted, it would be one way to do it.
Make a motion to approve the waivers as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and the vote.
Aye.
In
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
All in favor? Okay, so now, the next thing is to vote on the site plan approval. We need a motion to vote on the site plan approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve the site plan with conditions.
The usual conditions. And they've already been
There was-
to all the other boards and commissions.
Yeah, I guess,
If you do the waivers, do you need to? Then?
yeah, well, you've
Well, we
waived the
waived-
public hearing, you've waived the plan requirements. They're not the standard conditions would be construction hours, building per plan, and abiding all other boards and commissions. So 2 of those 3
You don't have to. vote.
don't apply to the existing request because they're not constructing anything. So construction hours and built to plan aren't necessary. So you could have it abide by all other boards and commissions, which would be their license from the Board of Selectmen and
And
the
to make
zoning
sure that
board.
they have a protection plan for the oil in case there's an oil spill.
Correct, which I
Right.
believe
Have
is in
that.
their
That's our
zoning
biggest
board's
concern.
requirement.
Yeah, we have that.
We
Yeah.
would have.
Okay, so put.
So was that that motion that Mr. Brooks made a good motion?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now we take a vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's a vote.
Good
Good
luck.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Yeah.
Take care.
Okay. Now we have a, right on the money. Wow. Okay, we have a discussion for 495 Washington Street, site plan waiver.
Yeah, apparently this gentleman isn't going to show up either.
Want to continue that?
Well,
or you wanna-
It's
what do you
just
wanna do?
not quite 7:15. No,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I've got 7:16.
I do too.
Yeah, you think they'd be here?
Seven.
I mean,
You can continue it. There's no reason to not continue it.
well, the only reason I say continue it is because there are questions I really want to ask that.
Oh,
applicant,
I wholeheartedly agree.
Okay?
I will quite
Where's
honestly.
that location?
This is it right here. This is Napa. This is the old Ragsdale Kia,
Across from Frank and Nancy's.
and this is the old house.
Yeah.
Ragsdale owns that property. Goes all the
So
way down.
what I have concerns about is, and I'm going to contact this gentleman tomorrow and express these concerns when I tell him that he's been continued. But there's no paved parking,
I understand that.
and that's a
That's why I had that
yeah,
question.
and that's
okay?
a major issue. We don't allow parking on unpaved surfaces.
I agree with you.
So,
He wants to be where the house is.
Yeah.
Correct. He wants to be in the house.
In the house.
In the house.
He wants to rehab the house to be a showroom.
Yeah.
So I think that what he's submitted is inadequate, and I think that that's something I will be communicating to him in order to.
I'm sure that everybody on this board would.
And I agree. I guess what I would ask of the board is to get sort of a tone from them on whether or not you are, willing to entertain the waiver of the public hearing.
No. I think because there are,
Houses behind.
I
it.
think there are houses behind there, and the fact that he didn't show up at a pre-scheduled hearing, at a pre-scheduled discussion hearing, at this particular point in time, I really would like to, I'd like to see
And
a hearing.
I wouldn't want to waive this public hearing.
No.
This is a much different site. It's off Route 20. The other one's already got paving that we just did.
Well, and that was sort of my concern, is that he has, I think, some site work that needs to be done that I think
Yeah.
lends itself to a public hearing.
Is his expectation that he's gonna park in
Yes.
the neighboring property?
No, his
No.
expectation is he's going to park in the front.
On that dirt area.
I had a very brief discussion with him when he originally came in. I didn't have this information. I didn't look at, I didn't pull it up, and I said,
Yeah.
you may need to expand your parking based on square footage. Oh, there's parking there already. It should be adequate. So I think that there's different sets of expectations between what we as the town would expect and what he as a potential business
Why don't
owner would.
we make a motion to continue it until the 10th or further, and hopefully Adam can try to get some conclusive response from the applicant, and maybe ask him what's the story, why didn't you?
Because once he starts putting pavement in, then we're talking about stormwater
I
management. We're talking
understand.
about a peer review, and I think that there's a longer time frame than what he may be expecting as far as a turnaround. So
I agree with you.
Now, what's the frontage requirements there? And is there water and sewer in the street?
I think this sewer.
I believe he meets the requirements. It's 100. Yeah, this is the lot. This pink
Yeah,
one.
100 by 100.
Yeah. So my understanding is that I believe it's 110,000 might be the requirement in that zone. The building stands on an existing lot, so it may be considered an existing non-conforming. He has a zoning determination from the building inspector that this is a legal use, and that it meets the requirements on the lot as far as use, not necessarily parking.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's a matter of dialing in the site plan to a point that the board is comfortable with.
Okay,
Wouldn't
let's get
that be-
back to that.
I don't even know if it has curb cuts.
It appears to. That's an issue that he's going to have to deal with DOT on. That's DOT's road.
There's
if
a
you
lot
look
more
here,
entailed here,
yeah.
Adam,
there's a curb cut.
than what meets the eye.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
So, well, again, to go into any further discussion on this is a moot point. I think that what we should do is make a motion to reschedule this for either the 10th or the following meeting after that, and hope we get a response from him in regards to what he's going to do.
And because it's a discussion, you don't even need to vote on
Yeah.
the continuance.
Okay.
So
right.
what I'll do is I'll continue the discussion till then,
Okay.
and I'll speak with him if he decides that he wishes to withdraw. We'll let him withdraw and walk
Good.
away. If he chooses to go forward, what we'll do is we'll schedule a public hearing that's going to require the advertisement, so that it'll probably be the second meeting in September at the earliest.
Would you, when you do either talk to him or send him a letter, would you explain the severity of some of the concerns that you have?
I will.
All right. Okay, I think what we ought to do is get an approval on the minutes for the last meeting. Do we have any problems with the minutes from the last meeting?
Just to prove I read them. Page 2, the second to last paragraph, it says Mr. Weaver questioned the impacts and the time frame would be needed to locate the road. The applicant would make the revision under the present application. My intention was more of if they relocated the road to require less replication area, would they then be able to submit under the existing application rather than having to submit a new application?
That's a good point.
So, which I guess is still a question that I have. But
Of course they would. Anytime an application is open, and I think that we talked about this, but anytime an application is open, the applicant can alter it in any way that they choose, as long as it's the intent of the application is the same. If someone files a site plan for a donut shop,
Yeah.
and they go through the process and they get to a point that they make an alteration, and that alteration is to make it a tire burning plant, then you're looking at something different, because you're looking at different zoning requirements and zoning uses. But as far as the physical layout of a road, that they can alter that up and down. And you see that quite often with subdivisions where someone comes in, I want to do this, and the board will say, oh, well, that, this, we think this is too steep, you need curbs here, and they just make those alterations through the design process. So it is generally done.
All right. Motion to accept the minutes now?
yep, as amended, sure.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are accepted. Okay, we've got, we were going to sign some Whitetail Run subdivision plans, but I understand all the pens are out of ink.
Yeah, we'll postpone it for a month.
The reason the plans are being re-signed is Mr. Jem had these signed back in January. February. One of those two. And he took the covenant that he's signing with the town, and it took him a little bit to get all the signatures he needed on the covenant. By the time he came back at the beginning of this month with the covenant, the plans were more than 6 months dated, and the registry of deeds will not accept plans that have a signature older than 6 months.
Now, we only need to sign 2?
Correct.
Okay.
Because
Now-
what you're signing is just the layout and division plans. We have other plans that show the road construction and
All right.
all of that goes into it.
Now, we're gonna sign this paper up
Correct.
here.
I
And
believe it's on the
Both sides.
other side.
I haven't found it
It's
yet.
right,
Down there, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is, right here, okay.
Oh,
All right, I'll sign it and pass the pen on here.
oh, good.
and we're also going to sign
Piece of paper.
the covenant, which is Mr. Jem's method of surety for completing the subdivision.
It's kidney, right?
Yeah.
But essentially, it says that he will be doing all road construction and cannot convey lots until such time as the road construction is done or he has resubmitted a new form of surety in some form of commodity.
Here you go, Paul. You can pass them on.
The next one I think gets signed in pen.
Yeah, it is.
Gotta put it straight down.
Covenant gets recorded as well.
Correct.
You need a receipt or something, all right.
I need the original covenant.
What I'm gonna do is I'll get these taken to my engineer tomorrow, and I'll get a bunch of copies. How many copies do you need?
I need
Straight down.
I know.
one copy of the
Just one.
plans.
'Cause you have all the copies.
Correct.
It
I
doesn't
need
matter that
I
date.
need the one copy of the plans. I've never gotten a full set of the final design plans. Just
Okay.
so I need a full set of the design plans with a copy of the signed
All right.
set, and I need the original covenant back after you record it with the register receipt for the
They
plans.
give you the original back?
Yes. The registry is all digital now. So you go in, you hand it to them, they print a little sticker, they stick it on the front, they do some writing on the bottom, they scan it, and they hand it right back to you.
All right.
And you'll get it's now a register, it looks like a cash register receipt. So if you bring that in, I'll take a copy of it and give you the original receipt back.
Okay.
It's been a while since you did one of these. They've been all digital for 5 or 6 years now.
It's been a while since he started this.
Well, I haven't had to do it for a living. I was doing something else, you know. And
Well, this took so long. He's got 3 partners.
yeah.
You still doing the vendors thing?
No. Stopped doing that in 08, 2008.
You gotta sign.
They did.
Okay. Jonathan? And
Is there a date on this?
Doesn't look like it.
You need a date.
I bet John will be nice enough to write it on for you.
Please.
Seeing you have the pen, John, why don't you,
It's the 27th.
27th?
Yeah, don't write 3.
Will you date that, please, Ron?
Yep.
When do you plan to start construction?
I don't know, I'm getting road bids right now.
Are you? Let me go grab mine.
Would you do us a favor? Would you find out from some professional what kind of pen will work on these things so we can sign it without having to hold the pen straight up and down? No, I'm serious. That's terrible. I mean, that, look at the signatures. Look
Yeah.
at Ronzo.
I have a special pen. It's made specifically for Mylars and vellums.
Yeah.
Really?
And it,
Well, I
yeah,
thought
it,
these
it
were.
looks like a felt
No,
tip.
that's
It's
called
you get a fine point of view. They have it stapled.
Nickel pen.
They do.
Yeah.
Really.
I got them. But they dry up pretty quick because it's an alcohol based. You gotta seal the cap pretty good.
kidding.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's out of ink.
I told you before.
It's
you
been out of
started.
ink since the day you took this wrapper
They
off.
must have an ink for a Mars pen that you can do that with.
So this is a short-term project, not a long-term. When you get it all recorded, and once you start road work, you can come in, and I'm not going to speak for the board, but you can request that your lot be released so that if for whatever reason it's not uncommon for the board to release existing houses. And again, I don't want to speak for the board, but
All right. Are we all set with Mr. Jem?
I think so.
You got a date on this?
There's a date on both of the Mylars.
Good.
Do
I'm
we
satisfied.
have something else with a single page to sign?
I don't think so. I thought
There's,
there was two.
two.
We signed one.
Yeah.
We signed that one.
And there was something else.
It's all notarized.
What's this here?
Those are
No, there was a
approvals
single-
for 619 Southbridge.
Yeah, yeah.
Being the end of the month, coming up this week, I may not get this to you till next week.
That's fine.
Most
I'm not,
attorneys don't wanna go to the registry and take care of anything for me while they're trying to do real estate. clearance.
yeah, no, I'm not,
And I got a kid getting off to college this week that,
I'm not in a rush to get this back, but I do need it back at some point.
it'll be next week, if not this week. What's today, Tuesday?
Okay, under.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, thank you, Paul. Under new business, is there anything under new business that you?
Just some signatures for the 619 Southbridge Street project.
All right,
The decisions, the site plan and the special permit. You can sign any site plan, but please sign the single-sided special permit because that has to be recorded at the registry and they do not take double-sided.
Single-sided.
Oh, he must have it in file.
He has the double-sided. I try to save paper when I print them for you guys.
So
With all
where's the
that money you
single-sided
saved,
one?
you get any
Oh,
markers?
Jimmy must have it.
I've got the
Marker works
single-sided
fine.
one right there, just
Marker's terrible.
let me sign this.
Operator
form
error.
out, If this needs signatures,
That
Phyllis
looks like
does.
double-sided.
I'll see if I can get some. The site plan can be double-sided, just not the special permit.
Oh, so there's two.
There is. For the same project.
All right, here,
Oh,
this
Joe,
is your pen.
wonderful. I had hardly
I'll
read
see if I
you.
can get you some Mylar-specific markers. That will be the jam.
Yeah, I always thought those were.
They're not. They're just extra fine point Sharpies.
Where's the air conditioner?
Hey, I inherited these
Where's
markers.
the air
Not very
conditioner
good.
tonight?
Where's the air conditioner been for the last 2 days?
You should see if they have permanent ink for a Mars pen that we can use. That would do it.
Mm.
I used to use that when I worked for Heels and for Pratt Whitney.
We're still working for Pratt & Whitney.
Yeah, working for the Department of Commerce now.
Thanks.
And closing school buildings. That's fun.
The dates are, you got the date written.
Dates on them,
Sorry,
I put the date on both of them. Is there any other correspondence?
There is not.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you, sir.